Move to question number 2. The first question here says, in an experiment, 20.0 centimeter cube of a solution containing 4 gram per dm cube of sodium hydroxide was neutralized by 8.0 centimeter cube of dilute tetraoxosulfate 6 acid. Write a balanced equation for the reaction. So the reaction is in between H2SO4 plus and NaOH. The product will be a salt, Na2SO4, and water. To balance this chemical equation, we put 2 here, we also put 2 here. You can also put the state, this in aqueous state, this in aqueous state, this in aqueous state, and this water in liquid state. The next question says, calculate the concentration of the acid in mole per dm cube. In the question we were given the mass concentration of NaOH to be 4 gram per dm cube. We were also given the volume of the base, which is Vb, to be 20 centimeter cube. You can convert that to decimeter cube by dividing by 1000. We have 0.02 decimeter cube. We were given the volume of the acid to be 8.0 centimeter cube. You can also convert that, then we have 0.008 decimeter cube. From the mass concentration we were given, we can calculate the Cb. Since Cb, which is molar concentration of the base, the formula that connects molar concentration and mass concentration is mass conc over molar mass. So we have Cb, concentration of the base, to be the mass conc of the base over the molar mass. The mass conc of the base is 4 and the molar mass of the base is 40. So we have 4 divided by 40, we have 0.1 mole per dm cube. So to calculate the concentration of the acid, we can use CaVa over CbVb equals to Na over Nb. Making Ca substitute of formula, we have Ca equals to CbVbNa over VaNb. And that will give us the Cb is 0.1 multiplied by the volume of the base is 0.02. The number of mole of the acid is 1. From the balanced chemical equation, we have 1 mole of acid reacting with 2 mole of the base. Then the volume of the acid is 0.008 multiplied by the number of mole of the base, which is 2. So when we do this, when you calculate this, we get 0.125 mole per dm cube. Therefore, we can say concentration of the acid in mole per dm cube equals to 0.125 mole per dm cube. The next question says, state 2 postulates of the kinetic theory of gases which real gases do not obey. The first postulate of the kinetic theory of gases obeyed by ideal gas but not obeyed by real gases is the intermolecular forces of attraction. The intermolecular forces of attraction between gas molecules is negligible. Between gas molecules is negligible. The second postulate, which is not obeyed by real gases, is The volume occupied by individual gas particle, the volume occupied by individual gas particles is negligible when compared to the volume of the container. When compared to the volume of the container. The next question says, briefly explain why real gases do not obey this postulate. Since we gave two postulates above, that means we need to give two reasons as well. Now, the first reason is that the reason for gases with gas molecules with forces of attraction, they have forces of attraction that can act as forces that attract and repel gas molecules. Real gases have molecules. Real gases have molecules that attract and repel each other. That attract and repel one another. Since molecules are close together in real gases, because real gases exist at high pressure and low temperature, forces of attraction become significant. For the second one, the reason, at very high pressure, because real gases exist at very high pressure. So at very high pressure, the space between molecules decreases. So the actual volume decreases. So the actual volume occupied by the gas molecules becomes appreciable. The next question says, consider the following compounds. So the structure of the compound. It says, name the compound. The compound is glucose. Name two structural isomers of the compound. Two structural isomers of the compounds are fructose and galactose. The next question says, state the chemical process involved in the preparation of the compound from starch. The process is hydrolysis of starch. The next question says, write the chemical equations for the steps involved in the process above. The process above is hydrolysis of starch, and the chemical equation for the reaction is, starting from starch, we have starch, C6H10O5, being hydrolyzed in the presence of water and dilute acids to give maltose. Maltose is a disaccharide. N12C12H22O11. So this maltose is further hydrolyzed in the presence of an enzyme called maltase to give glucose. C6H12O6. Name two enzymes involved in the process. Two enzymes. The first enzyme is diastase. The first process is enabled by the enzyme diastase, and the second, that's the hydrolysis of maltose into glucose, is enabled by the enzyme maltase. The next question says, explain briefly the term structural isomerism. Structural isomerism is the existence Structural isomerism is the existence of two or more compounds. The existence of two or more compounds with the same molecular formula, but different arrangements of atoms. Structural isomerism is the existence of two or more compounds with the same molecular formula but different structural arrangements of atoms. N-butane and isobutane have the same molecular formula, C4H10, but different structures. The next question says,